Hi everyone. Moving on to TechFluent Season 3. We have with us Darika Jan. Darika, hi. Welcome to TechFluent Season 3.
Hi, thank you so much.
First, I'd like you to introduce yourself.
Sure. Hi everyone, my name is Darika Jain. I am a LinkedIn content creator into the HR domain itself. Apart from this, I have about 1.5 years of experience into the HR industry, wherein I work with American Express, mostly into recruitment, hiring for non-tech roles, and I'm pursuing full-time content creation for now, and side by side pursuing my masters as well.
Thank you for the introduction, Darika. So, we had a good session in the morning with students, but there are still few queries, which we got from students. We created few questions out of it, which we'll talk it out here. Let's get on with the first question.
Sure.
How did your literature background contribute to your career in corporate law, management, or maybe content creation? What advice do you have for students with non-tech background looking in for to enter into the corporate world?
All right. So, talking about my background, I pursued my graduation from Delhi University in literature itself. And I feel that it's a very diverse domain wherein you can easily transition to different fields. HR was something that I always wanted to do. Along with that, corporate law happened as well because HR and corporate laws are linked together. And that's pretty much about it. So, it was very easy to, perform well in, all these domains. Coming to the second part, so for non-tech professionals who are looking to, start their career and respectively with LinkedIn, they need to have a strong LinkedIn profile because a lot of recruiters these days are, focusing more on LinkedIn because that's considered like a digital resume apart from the traditional resumes that we usually have. So there are 3 to 4 elements that are considered very important when a recruiter notices your profile or you get noticed in the eyes of the recruiter. Number one is your profile picture, which definitely has to be a headshot and, not a selfie. Then number two is your banner that should speak about yourself. Let's suppose you are into college, so maybe, a picture of the college building or a quote that you live by. Then number three is your headline, wherein you have to, mention specific things. If you are a college student, you can mention about the college, then 2 to 3 skills that you're very, very good at, and probably a personal branding statement that defines what you're actually doing. And the fourth part is the about section. And one more additional thing, so make sure you include recommendations, endorsements, whatever you've received. A lot of people, when they do an internship, they receive an LOR or an LOA, right? If they ask for recommendation on LinkedIn, that gets displayed in your profile, and let's suppose a recruiter reaches out to you, and if they see those recommendations, endorsements, then it's like a win-win situation for you. So these are some of the things that, a person should be considering when it comes to, getting their profile noticed through LinkedIn itself.
You already answered the second question that I was going to talk about. How do you work around the LinkedIn personal branding because you have a large scale audience there? So you already covered that. Let's skip that and go to the next one.
Sure.
What strategies would you recommend as you are having experience in talent acquisition that the qualities and the skills that the students need to attain, that how they can develop that traits to enhance their employability?
All right. So it's easy to purchase technical skills, but when it comes to soft skills, a lot of people compromise on that. So I think there are 2 to 3 skills that are very, very important. Number one being communication. Now, when I say communication, it is not just about being fluent. It's not just about being fluent, but more about how well you're able to articulate yourself. Number two, problem solving ability. Companies are looking out for people who can solve problems in a strategic manner using their critical thinking, creativity, etc. Number three, that's very, very important, adaptability. A lot of times when you're hired for a certain role, there will be a duration wherein you will be switched to a different profile, or maybe you will be allotted a work that is not related to your role. So required to be, flexible and not very rigid. Then after that, there are some most in-demand skills that are usually there. Number one is storytelling. So if you're able to, weave your answer into a story, it's like an added advantage. Number two, a lot of companies have these technical proficiency tests. So we require the candidate to be well versed with logical reasoning, aptitude, all of these aspects. That's pretty much about it.
Now, this is something which is related to something in your career. That what advice would you give to the students who are interested in pursuing corporate law, and how it would help them if they want to, look for a career as an HR?
All right. So when it comes to HR, people usually have this mindset that, HR is only about recruiting people, firing people. That's not really true. There are various aspects of HR. And when I say talent acquisition, when I say compensation, all of these things, if you have a degree in corporate law, if you know the laws of the organization, you will be a better fit for the organization because they would obviously not want to hire someone else. You'll be able to do the job of 2 people. So that's about it. I think corporate law as a field can be taken up by other students as well, but with HR, it's like a perfect combination.
What lessons did you learn from your experience leading a team in a startup environment, and how can students effectively work and understand leadership skills that you try to hone in your career?
So I worked in a startup when I was in the first and second year of my college, and my manager was so confident. He knew that I will be able to take up tasks. So he told me to, hire 2 interns under me who I trained them. And I also, got certain insights about time management, delegating tasks, being able to say no. A lot of times we are unable to say no because we have that guilt that if we do that, we will be disappointing our manager or there will be something else. But we need to, get away with that feeling and start saying no more so that it converts into more yes.
How was your experience for Tech2 in season 3, Punjab? All about that.
It was amazing. I mean, this was my second time in Punjab, and I've always loved the city, the people, the warmth, the food, everything was so good. Plus, when the students were asking questions, they were quite inquisitive. I mean, with my domain being, around LinkedIn, content creation, everything, they had very, what you call insightful questions, and it was lovely interacting with them. Loved the, energy.
Thank you. Thank you for being with us in Tech2 in season 3. We look forward to collaborate with you in the future also.
Likewise.
Thank you, Darika.
All right.